Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Israelite Advanced Bible Study, the 31st of May, 2022. This Prophets of Awakening. We're going to be dealing with a video I was looking at. Is how all the white supremacists tried to stop the great migration and the unification of the people in America and the ones in Africa. We're going to go in on that, break it down. So with that being said, I want to say like, share, and subscribe to Prophets of Awakening channel, and hit the notification button if you can. For those that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. I want to say shalom and welcome everyone to Prophets of Awakening, and welcome to our advanced Bible study. We're going to do our moment of silence, prayer and psalms, and then do a little current events, some need to know information. Then we'll go into our Q&A, and then we'll go into the Bible class. O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongeth unto thee. Therefore we come before thee at this hour, seeking thy face and looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before thee as thy servant David and Solomon and Samuel and Hezekiah did, that we may walk before thee in truth and in righteousness and in rightness of heart. Give unto us, O Lord, an understanding heart, that we may discern between good and bad, for we know that you possess the power to do just that. And we desire to walk after thee, O Lord, and to keep your commandments and your testimony and your statutes with all our heart and soul, to perform the words of the covenant that was written down by your prophets. O Lord, allow thy face to shine upon thy people. Hear our plea, hear and do, O Lord. Hide not thy face from us, for we need you so very much at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay. Can read the Psalms right quick. Okay. This is Psalm 44. It's a form of deliverance in present troubles. Okay, it says, we have heard with our ears, O God. Our fathers have told us what works thou did in their days and in the times of old. How thou didst drive out the heathen with thy hand and planted them. How thou didst afflict the people and cast them out. For they got not the land in possession by their own sword, neither did their own arm save them, but thy right hand and thine arm and the light of thy countenance, because thou hast favor unto them. Thou art my king, O God. Command deliverance for Jacob. Through thee will we push down our enemies, and through thy name will we tread them under that rise up against us. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me, but thou hast saved us from our enemies, and has put them to shame that hate us. In God we boast all the day long, and praise thy name forever. Selah. But thou hast cast off and put us to shame, and goeth not forth with our armies. Thou makest us to turn back from the enemy, and they which hate us spoil for themselves. Thou hast given us like sheep appointed to meat, and hast scattered us among the heathen. Thou sellest thy people for naught, and doest not increase thy wealth by thy price, their price. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are around about us. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. My confusion is continually before me, and the shame of my face have covered me. For the voice of him that reproacheth and blasphemes by reason of the enemy, the avenger, all this is come upon us. Yet have we not forgotten thee, neither have we dealt falsely in thy covenant. Our heart is not turned back, neither have our steps declined from the way. Though they have sore broken us in the place of dragons, and covered us with shadow of death, if we forgotten the name of our God, or stretched out our hands to a strange God, shall not God search this out? For he know the secrets of the heart. Yea, For thy sake are we killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for slaughter. Awake, why sleepest thou, our Lord? Arise, cast us not off forever. Wherefore hidest thou thy face, and forgettest our affliction and our oppression? For our soul is bowed down to dust, and our belly cleaveth unto the earth. Arise for our help, and redeem us for thy mercy's sake. Okay, so that was Psalms 44. Anybody got any comments on that? Want to get anything out of that?
All praises, all praises.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So I was going to shine a light on something. It says, uh, yeah, 20. It says, if we have forgotten the name of our God or stretched out our hands to a strange God. So the first thing I think about is a lot of people don't see it though, but back during slave trade, and you watch any of the images or pictures or videos or movies when they're showing the slave, when they get the slave, and nobody really paid attention to it. But you know, it stick out like a sore thumb with me. They falling on their knees, you know, and stretching their hands out to Yahweh. But we know he's under the curses. So he said he ain't hearing it. You know, he ain't hearing us. But that's another sign to let you know those are Israelites that they have in those boats. So it says right here, let me read it again. Uh, 20. If we have forgotten the name of our God or stretched out our hands to a strange God. So that's because they do. When you go to the Hebrew language, when you see the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, it's the image of a man with his hands stretched out. And that's another example to show you who God of Israel really is. And then go to Moses at the Red Sea. He told Moses to stretch out his hand. And then Daniel chapter 12. Let me get 12 and you know, like I was saying, this is one of the things that you know people don't really focus on. They're looking over. So anyway, 12, Daniel 12, and verse 5 says, "Then I Daniel looked, and behold, there stood the other two, one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on that side of the bank of the river. And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be to the end of the wonders? And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand under heaven, and swore by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for a time, and half a time. And when we shall have accomplished to scatter the powers of the holy people, all these things shall be accomplished. So we got his hand stretched out to heaven. So if the Israelites stretching their hands out to him, then who he stretching his hands out to? We'll give another example. 32. Deuteronomy 32, and then we'll go into current events. Deuteronomy 32 says 41. I'm going to start at 39. It says Deuteronomy 32 and 39. See now that I, even I, am He. There is no God with me. I kill, I make alive, I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hands, look at this, for I lift up my hands unto heaven, stretch his hands out, and I say I live forever. Then it says, if I with my glistening sword in my hands take hold of judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies and reward them that reward me. So we see right here, he's stretching his hands out to the Creator. Okay, so yeah, and then he continues telling us through the scriptures that, you know, I stretch my hands out and my arms still stretched out still. So, you know, it's a whole lot of meaning to that. We just reading over. Okay. Okay. So with that being said, anybody got any current events? Okay. We got one right here.
Set to take place later today, the march sparked warnings of a new escalation from Palestine ahead of the Israeli flag march that is set to take place later today. The march sparked warnings of a new escalation from Palestinians in the region. The annual march celebrates the city's unification following the capture of East Jerusalem back in 1967. Ahead of the march, violence is now being reported at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound. Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett convened a special cabinet meeting. It was held to mark Jerusalem Day. Prime Minister Naftali Bennett said Sunday the march will be held along the regular route and urged participants to be respectful.
היום אנחנו נציין את יום ירושלים ובמהלך היום יתקיימו שלל אירועים, בכללם מצעד הדגלים המסורתי שיערך במסלול הקבוע. הנפת דגל ישראל בבירת ישראל היא דבר מובן מאליו, ולכן היינו בהירים וברורים בנושא מהרגע הראשון. אני מבקש מהמשתתפים לחגוג בצורה אחראית ומכובדת.
Israeli police force have released videos of crowds rioting and pelting stones. According to reports, a small group of rioters have barricaded themselves inside the mosque.
Okay, so I must say that I'm happy to say there was not many violent events today, hardly any. There was a small one on Temple Mount today while visitors came in, while prayers took place, and police officers were there in order to minimize the friction. Other than that, there was a short period of time of a violent specific event outside, right behind here, and also at that point of time, the Israeli police made arrests and stopped this event. I must tell you that our preparations to this day include a lot of preventive activities in order to enable a very safe day.
And for more on this, our correspondent Jody Cohen is joining us live from Jerusalem. Jody has been following the events of the day. Jody, good to see you again. Has anything changed so far? Is the march day ongoing as planned? And we heard from the Israeli Prime Minister urging restraint and respect. Take us through what's going on at the moment.
Hi, Eric. Yes, well, I've been here all day, and the day started with groups getting ready for the singing, the dancing, lots of sound checks, lots of stages along the route of the parade. I'm now at the entrance to Damascus Gate, and you can hear the first of the singers and dancers are walking behind me. I don't know if you can see the flags behind me now. This parade is going to be going through the new city of Jerusalem, the central Jerusalem, and through the old city via the Muslim quarter to the Western Wall. It's not going to be going to the Temple Mount, as some reports have announced from the Palestinian Authority. But the Israeli police and the Israeli government have confirmed that the route is not going to be changed. It's been the same route since 1968, with the exception of last year. Last year, at the very last minute, the route got changed so that it wouldn't go through the Muslim quarter. And that led still, despite the fact that the route was changed, to Hamas firing rockets and the 11-day war, as you said. So this year, the Israeli government were concerned not to change the route from the traditional one, because they didn't want to be seen to be capitulating to terror. And the parade is going as planned so far. The police have been saying that everything is going to plan. Obviously, there's still some hours.
Okay, any comments on that?
Yeah, I missed it. What kind of march is it?
It's almost like you can equate it to when they attacked the Senate on January 6th. These Israelis bomb rushing the Temple Mount.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
They're getting radical, man. They're getting radical, yeah. So they it's happening all over the place. with these European people. They just, you know, they starting to see that things is changing for them, and they getting real antsy, getting beside themselves. All them are signs. Yeah. Okay.
A labor market shock is looming. Cracks are appearing everywhere in the U.S. labor market. Companies are now looking to curb hiring. Many started announcing mass layoffs last week amid falling profit margins as the U.S. economy begins to march towards a historic recession. With economic conditions deteriorating at a stunning pace, inflation still hot, and the housing market standing on its last legs, the last pillar holding up the U.S. economy, the labor market, has just hit a brick wall. And experts say it's all downhill from here. Americans should brace for a new wave of layoffs this summer that could wipe out over 1 million jobs and result in significantly lower wages as businesses struggle to stay afloat in face of slower growth. Now, we've got a lot to cover today, but before moving on, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our future videos. Remarkable shifts are occurring in the U.S. labor market. Last week, the number of Americans filing new claims for unemployment benefits unexpectedly rose, hitting a 4-month high and signaling a major drop in demand for workers amid tightening financial conditions. Jobless claims increased by 21,000 to 218,000. And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the number of people receiving benefits increased to 1.3 million, while the number of employees who quit their jobs in April also hit a new record, rising above 4.5 million. Other real-time indicators, such as Ravello's measure of total job postings, plunged by 22.5%, marking the biggest change on record, further demonstrating that the job market has started to crater. On Thursday, in the labor market, however, the tentative signs that payroll growth is slowing and wage growth is falling are not going to be enough to convince the Fed to back away from their planned series of 50 basis point rate hikes at the next couple of meetings, Michael Pierce, senior U.S. economist at Capital Economics, said in a note. This means that the potential for an economic recession seems higher than ever. Bloomberg economists wrote that the risk of a recession is high and rising. Of course, the one entity that can turn sentiment around is the Fed. Markets are chattering that the Fed will pause its rate hikes in September, but we think that would be premature. In our scenario for a dovish Fed turn, it would happen only at the end of the year. Whenever the Fed is hiking, recession is always that shadow in the closet that may come out. There is always the probability of recession, stressed ADP chief economist Nella Richardson. A fresh ADP survey found that only 20% of U.S. workers feel that their job is secure right now. Workers have experienced a tremendous amount of upheaval. The changes are both seismic and persistent. The real thing to focus on today is inflation, Richardson said. What inflation does is it erodes the value of workers' paychecks, People are getting more take-home pay, but it's just not going as far as it used to.
Okay. Any comments on that?
Yeah, it's kind of sound like 2023 is gonna be pretty rough, man.
Oh yeah, it's doomsday. I mean, first thing I think of is Isaiah 60 when he said he's gonna uh, turn the forces of the Gentiles toward Israel.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? He did the same thing with us. We was on top, and because of what we did, we fell. He turned all our resources toward the Israel. I mean, toward the West. They got it. Esau.
Right.
So he just turning it back. Yeah, that's what you looking at it, and that's where all the pattern coming from. They see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but it really seemed like for this summer and the rest of this year is gonna be rough.
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. It's already up. It's already coming up on us now. It's just a matter of it actually just is a perfect storm. It's just a matter of it manifesting itself all the way. You know what I mean? With these high gas prices.
Yeah. Already. I'm feeling it, man. As a truck driver, I'm definitely feeling it.
I was getting ready to say that. I was quite sure you feeling it with being a truck driver. Yeah, you should.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The struggle's real, brother.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go into this little need to know information. This guy named Rod Hayes. I was watching his video, so I said this would be something good to bring up and talk about. Cause yeah, so let me get this.
On purpose because they figure we gonna stay fools and they just gonna walk out of here with the whole world and leave us as just their servants. No, that doesn't work well for me. I'm not really comfortable taking orders from assholes and motherfucking pedophiles. I'm really not into taking orders from nobody, but if I'm gonna take them, I'm not gonna take them from ass kissers, right? So if I'm not going to take him from ass kissers, take orders from ass kissers and pedophiles, that means there's nobody in their system that can tell me shit. They can't tell me nothing. Because all they filled with is ass kissers and pedophiles. Blind leading the blind ass motherfuckers. Right? So you got these niggas that call themselves Hebrew Israelites. Now, I didn't want to really get into this with them because they some militant ass niggas. Right? Push this Israeli shit to the end of the earth, but they never, and they call the pale man Edomites. I'm gonna show you how dumb these niggas is. Go back to the book, the Torah. Who was the Edomites? Was the children of Esau, right? And Esau was the red one with the hair. He was the ruddy red one. Esau mean ruddy red, and he was hairy, right? So this is the excuse to say that Esau is the pale-skinned nations of Europe. These are Hebrew Israelites I'm talking about now. Now watch this. Jacob is Esau's twin. So that make them blood relatives out the gate. They say they from Jacob. And Esau is the pale man from Europe. All right, now y'all following this. I'm showing y'all how stupid they is. Now this is the core of their doctrine, is that they Hebrew Israelites. Israelite mean children of Jacob. Hebrew mean children of Abraham that crossed over the river, right? Now this is that they believe. And they believe that Esau is the pale nations of Europe. These are the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. This is the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. And then they say because they from the line of Jacob, right? That they had the 12 tribes is supposed to inherit the earth. You must don't read your Bible. You must don't read your Bible, your Torah. You don't read that shit very well, right? So the Quran or the Muslims say we created you in tribes and families that you might know each other. Different, right? But Esau is a child of the same motherfucker that Jacob a child from, right? Now, Esau and Jacob is twins. So Jacob, mama, Sarah, want her son, the second, to get the birthright from Esau, right? This is what they said. So Esau was really the chosen one. So when they saying, now these are Hebrew Israelites I'm talking about now. Remember, all these religious motherfuckers is fucked up, blind, leading the blind ass niggas. I'm showing it to you right now. Esau was the one with the birthright. So if the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites, the black Jews, the nation of Israel, any of these motherfuckers believe they better than the Edomites, them niggas still lost. They still
Come in.
Well, I mean, that type of speech right there is really loud, man. All
Well,
the all the all the brothers and sisters that we be fishing for to wake up.
right,
It's brothers like this that makes it so tough to
right,
do. You know what
right,
I'm saying?
right,
Because he's telling a lot of truth. You know what I'm saying?
right,
There are some brothers, especially on the Messianic side. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
They'll spit it out there and they'll paint this picture um, as literally a white baby came out of it. You know what I'm saying?
right, right, right,
And that's that's what gives the fuel to the fire for these brothers like this to come out and just like blast. You know what I'm saying? Makes it hard. And we expected that. You know what I'm saying? Is everybody keep telling them brothers to, you know what I'm saying, slow down on that, but
right,
a lot of them still run with it. Also
right,
with the virgin birth, they still run with it.
right,
Uh,
exactly.
so I mean, it is what it is, man. But I myself looked at the baby as a Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? It's his actions afterward that led to his people mingling with the Japheth people. Myself,
Right,
uh, that's kind of like how I roll with it. But
right,
when I say it like that, Esau would be white.
right,
But then would all white people be Esau? You know what I'm saying? That poses that question. You feel me?
right,
Uh, so, I mean, I consider Japheth to be white folks. You know what I'm saying? The origin may have been black at some point of time. I don't know. That's probably when the caveman came into play, turned them white. Something happened to Japheth, though. You know what I'm saying? And he
right,
will enlarge himself under the tents of Shem.
right.
So I think the tents of Shem as being the Abrahamic type of faith. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Uh, with Islam and Christianity and the Jews. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Uh, so, but yeah, going back to what I'm saying, what this brother is doing, he's making it where it's comical. He
right,
talking bad about us. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And it's very, very powerful, man. You
Okay,
know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that.
okay. You got anything, Michelle?
Shalom. No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, my thing is this. Uh, it goes back to like I was saying in a couple videos I made that they're not brothers. That's the point to me that he's bringing out because he tell you it's two different nations in a womb. And same thing with Cain and Abel. They wasn't fathered by the same person. Because Esau was red all over, hairy and red, and Jacob is a plain man. They two different. Then they let you know he got red hair, and even to this very day, when you look at people with red hair, they stick out. You gotta ask yourself where they come from, because it's not like any other race of people on the planet. And the Bible tells you that that red-haired giant was on Mount Seir. That's what Esau intermingled with. But he didn't get those traits by intermingling with them. He had the traits when he was born. So all he did was went home. And I think that's what's going over his head. He's not really understanding, he don't really understand the scripture. But yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna play some more of that. Let me get it. Okay.
Because they part of a stolen birthright, a stolen legacy. And the stolen legacy was penned by Chancellor Williams, right? And we know a chancellor is a motherfucking agent of the high court, right? I'm not going to go into his last name. Because last time I went into last names, I got so many, because I can't answer every last name. It'll take days and weeks. But Chancellor Williams wrote Destruction of Black Civilization. Then another one of the elders said, they stole it. You must return it. They stole it. You must return it. How you going to return it? They stole it. How you going to get it back? Ask your preacher. Ask your sheikh. Ask your Ben Ami. Right? You can't ask Yahweh Ben Yahweh because he's with Elijah Muhammad. But ask these niggas. See? As soon as one of them try to do something that's right, they take them out of commission, and then they use the ones that support the motherfucking cover story of fuckery. They give them a lavish lifestyle. Yeah, so the rule for questioning somebody, including me, I'm not immune from this, but can't nobody say it better than Malachi. If I can't question you, you can't talk to me. Because if it's above question, that shit is beneath me. Because I'm going to have some questions for your dumb ass. So all these motherfuckers, they want you to just take what they say as the gospel and don't examine that shit, because when you examine it, it don't smell right, don't feel right, don't taste right, don't motherfucking come across my tongue right. Oh yeah, they definitely anti-woman, because if you look through the Bible, they'll have you think that it ain't no women in that motherfucker. So the whole Bible is a smear campaign against the divine feminine, flat out, point blank, period. From Genesis to Revelation, the current translations and transliterations is a whole full all out attack on the divine feminine. From the lie that Eve let the serpent deceive her when she told the goddamn truth. The serpent told the truth. God told the lie. The Elohim or the Elo that told Adam not to eat from that tree, because they say on that, no, I love this one. This is one of my favorite ones that the Christian church like to bring up. They say that because Eve bit from the tree and gave it to Adam, right? Now, they'll never show you anywhere in the book where anybody told Eve, don't eat from the tree. That's not in there. But they will give you the assumption that Eve was told, but they won't ever show you where. Now, watch what Adam. Now, if this ain't no attack on the divine feminine, I don't know what is. Adam punk ass ratted her out as soon as they got caught. He was the first recorded rat on record. Adam. Cause soon as motherfucking the Elo say, hey, didn't I tell y'all don't be eating from that motherfucking tree? That shit gonna wake your ass up to the knowledge of good and evil. He said, what, me? It was a lady. She gave it to me. This bitch you gave me. You coward ass motherfucker. If you was doing your job in the first place, she wouldn't have never been able to be beguiled.
Okay. Anybody got anything on that?
He's ranting now, bro. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
must
go.
get that part from his mama.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
notice how he's saying the Elo though. That's what tripped me out. He's saying the angel came and told him. You mean you got Israelites and you know what I'm saying? You got Israelites and Christians don't even know that, but he said the Elo came and told him about the old off tree. I was like, wow, okay. But yeah, he got all that twisted all up. He throwed on that for real.
Yeah. It's we hear it all the time, especially in the when it gets up in the rough neighborhood.
Right.
That's one of the main little. Yeah, what
Right.
he doing is just repeating all that shit back.
Right.
Sound like a Kemet type of cat.
Right. Yeah. That's what it is because he's divine
Yeah,
feminine. You know, he's talking about the divine feminine. Yeah.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
on separate.
Mhm.
Yeah. So with that being said, I'm opening up for some Q&A. I thought I'd put that in there. I'm gonna open up for some Q&A. Anybody got anything they want to bring out about what they come across? They want to talk about for a minute? Yeah. So I got something that shook me up. I was like, it's amazing how this thing is unfolding and how well, there's two things I want to deal with. What I'm gonna deal with in the class discussion is tied to what I'm showing you right now. How they kept us separated, kept us ignorant to the fact of what was going on in Africa, and according to what was going on over here, knowing that we was related. Shalom, bro. Okay, so here you go right here. Uh, hold up.
Cross River State.
Let me go back. Got it. Mute this.
Located in the southern region of Nigeria with a population of 371,000 people and was once heralded as Nigerians' #1 tourist destination. Known for its well-kept lawns and greenery, home to the biggest street party in Africa, the world's richest mountain race tournament, the first federal capital city of Nigeria, but not anymore.
I know this channel is dedicated to showing you some of the best destinations, promoting countries, cultures, and people. I'm sorry, but this video has to be different.
But hey, man, sometimes I just have to say the truth. This country has to work. It's high time we start holding these politicians to their campaign promises. Not just because I just want social validation or anything,
But because I care about my country.
I just want to hold some people accountable and say things as it is, and that's what we have this platform for, right? I would appreciate if you can hit the like button for the algorithm. Thank you so much.
Blue dew, blue moon, kinda mysterious, shaded with someone I'm not really into. Do you need to fix it? Talking.
Be like a hub for broadcasting cross river to the world, but of course.
You see this app right here? It's called Audible.
You know what always happens, right? The visionary leaves the office, the idea dies, and as you can see, we are the only ones right here. Look, man, like this is millions and millions of dollars in funds invested right here, and it has all been put under the carpet. TINAPRA's downfall was largely because of lack of interest in tourism by administrations after the Donald Duke tenure. This is a monorail right here at the Tinapa Business and Leisure Resort. I mean, it's a project that a lot of money was put into it, but it never kicked off. It's all covered in dust. These are things that when you go to other part of the world, you're going to pay money to get on in this experience. And I don't know how they are going to This place is called Marina Resort, right here in Calabar. The Marina Resort in Calabar sits on a great historical site, the watermouth of Calabar. It stands near the old slave trade site, where 30% of the slaves that left Africa were deported from years ago.
Okay, Marina Resort has its own heritage as regards slave trade and other trade activities.
The resort was built in 2007 as a notable recreational and learning destination to promote tourism in Calabar. You see, when we came here like 5-6 years ago, you would have at least 200 people come here every day, and it was generating money, So some of the business started leaving because another administration came. This administration actually made everything very worse because as at this point, there is literally nobody coming here. They saw us at the gate, and the security men, they were happy to get 100 naira from us because they really don't have patronage anymore. This is total neglect, What happened?
Our dustbin. It's smelling, it's killing people.
What happened to the dustbin?
The order is killing people. So we are asking the governor, please, they should try and pay the workers. They should be backing it. Yes, another thing, the government should try and invest some investment for the youth, because the youth are not doing anything. So many youth are jobless.
Here in Calabar?
Here in Calabar. Payment of salary, they are not paying.
Yeah.
For how many months now?
So since Ayade come, what did he don't do?
Since Ayade is in the government, Ayade, we have not seen anything that he has done. We have not seen 8 years. In 8 years, we have not seen. No more carnival, nothing. The state is just like that.
Wow.
Nothing is even moving. The government should try and put things in places so that at least the state to provide job.
Cross River is beautiful and has one of the most unique landscape in Nigeria and has the potential to become a tourism hotspot in Africa. I hope this video has been able to spark something for us to see the possibility that tourism can bring to a state and a nation. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay, in the comments. So you say, why am I showing you this? I mean, you got all kind of Israelites to take that place. That's a whole big old city over there. You got to look. You know what I'm saying? To get out of here, I'd go there. They gave me, you know, I take that for reparation. Get the hell away from here. They got a whole city. The guy he's showing you a monorail system, everything is already in place. And we got leaders over here talking about Texas and taking giving us 3 states over here. You know, come on, you got places like that on the continent. All you have to do is go over there and clean it up. That ain't nothing to do. A whole city in the mountains. Is that something?
Yes, it looks very beautiful, man.
Yeah, peaceful.
I know if all Black Americans got it in their mind to shit bum rush, you know what I'm saying, Africa. I know we can make something happen, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's a hell of a start right there. Just, you know, yeah. You know, it's more than just that one. They got to be out there scattered all over. But that's, I mean, like I said, I'll take it. They gave me a ticket over there. I would. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else got any comments on that? Okay, yeah, so we're gonna go into this last video. It's about how they use white supremacy. You've been keeping us separated from the African Americans from the African, and we just it's like we just look at it and then we're right divide it.
At least for me. Now, they say 3 out of 4 lived on farms. You know, we want to talk about the Great Migration, but we're not going to talk about it just in the sense of moving, you know, to the north and the west between 1916 and 1970. But we're going to talk about the white supremacist response. The white supremacists have always a response to Black movement and potential Black unification. Now, J. Edgar Hoover said the greatest threat to the United States was Black unity. I want to repeat that again. He said the greatest threat to the United States is Black unity, whether here, whether definitely abroad. But he always knew that. There's always been their policy. And some things that we're going to read today, you'll be like, wow, that's happening today. And I'm probably step on a little toes, and that's fine. That's what I'm called to do. So they had about 6 million, Black Americans left the South, for better opportunities in the North and the West. So we say between 1960 and 1970. Their relocation changed the demographic landscape of the United States and much of the agricultural labor force in the South. And I say decades long. It's a multi-generational movement of Black Americans known as the Great Migration impacted Southern labor to such a degree that white landowners resorted to coercive tactics to keep Black Americans from leaving. Okay, so these people were racially terrorizing Black people, got Jim Crow, all of that. But when Black people say, you know what, I'm done, I'm getting the hell away from these people, they want to do everything they can to hold you. Okay. And that's no different today. And I'll get to this. Now, what I know about the white supremacists, he do not change. He's the same as he was in 1916 and 1970. He's the same way in 2022. Okay. Now, they say after Reconstruction ended in 1877, they say the Jim Crow segregation became the law across the South, restricting political, economic, and social mobility of Black Americans. Now, they said that a comprehensive history of the migration is in 1900. They had a book, talking about the warmth of other suns, the epic story of American migration. They said 9 every 10 black people lived in the South. So if I told y'all before, if you talking about homeland, your homeland is the South. It's not California. That's not your homeland. Your ancestors, you talking about what you built, even though I don't really like the building conversation too much, because it just frustrated me, that building conversation, even though it's true. Yes, we did build America. Yes, we did innovate America, but we don't control America. We don't control no percentage of it. And that is my frustration about the building conversation. It's hard for me to take pride in that to a point. I mean, because we built it under distress. We didn't build it by choice. Everything they have in this country we built. You know, we are the ones, the reason why this country became so rich. And yet, you know, we don't control nothing. And now we had land, we had this, we had that, but the white supremacists made sure to take all that away. So that's a frustrating conversation, at least for me. Now, they say 3 out of 4 lived on farms. You know, our people are very agricultural, which agriculture is something for nation building. They say despite a concerted effort by white Southern landowners to make them stay, they say by 1970, nearly half of all Black Americans, about 47%, would be living outside of the South. Now, I said post-slavery, white Southerners still dependent on Black people as their main labor force, from picking cotton, working in rice plantations and tobacco fields, logging, or serving as domestics. They say Black Americans performed some grueling tasks as they did while enslaved, and options for upward mobility under Jim Crow were bleak and dangerous. They Black sharecroppers paid rent to live and work on the land of white planters who took a percentage of their harvest and charged for seeds, tools, and food, leaving Black sharecroppers in crippling debt. By law, sharecroppers could not leave the land until the debt was paid, effectively enforcing them to stay. They say, but the fate of Southern Black Americans changed in 1916 when news of better jobs and conditions up north started spreading in rural communities. Say Black newspapers like the Chicago Defender ran stories about opportunities for Black Americans in steel mills and factories and encouraged them to leave the South. I say because white Southerners could not afford to lose a cheap and subservient workforce, they attempted to cut off access to the Chicago Defender. Now, Black Americans saying, let me get away from white supremacist terrorism to better opportunities in the North or better opportunities in the West. You know, we have this online chatter now to say to get away from, you know, conditions like that of white supremacy. Even in your own country, you want to just use the word, you know, we hear the term running a lot. We hear the term fleeing a lot. Well, you got children, right? Let's say you're a family with children, you're a man and have a wife and children. Okay, you can do so much, but you're going to subject your wife and kids to certain things when you heard that, hey, if I just go up north, there's actually better jobs. And from what I'm hearing from my people, we don't deal with the same things in the South. Not to say we're not going to deal with nothing up there, but it's definitely going to be a lot less. Okay. So according to what a lot of people are saying online is that our ancestors ran. And
the NBA playoffs are here, and the best way to get a piece of all the
so silly to me. It's silly because even animals understand to get away from danger. Our people are living under horrible conditions by these white supremacists. Why in the hell wouldn't they get away from it? I mean, that would just be crazy. Now they continue to say that actually the white supremacists, we talked about how when the Chicago Defender was telling Black people, hey, you got these opportunities up here, come on, come get it. The white supremacists say, oh, wait a minute. Because see, at one point in time, the newspaper was your internet, right? And if you didn't get a newspaper, then shoot, you didn't get no information. Thank God for the internet. So they said that, you know what? Nah. We can't be losing Black people because they're beneficial to the Southern economy. So they said that they actually interfere with the U.S. mail to prevent the Defender from being distributed. According to the executive director of American Historical Association. Now they said or they did some ordinance and intimidation. Say with the resurgence of the Klan in 1915, largely tied to release of the film Birth of a Nation. It said that depicted black men as savages, the economic gains of black entrepreneurs that threatened the social order of white supremacy. Violence against black Americans erupted across the United States, according to the Equal Justice Initiative. It said at least 4,075 black Americans were lynched across the South between 1870 and 1950. They say black Americans who fled racial oppression either returned to retrieve the rest of their family or sent train tickets back home. There we go. People had to leave that. And I don't fault my ancestors at all. If you sitting in California right now, your ancestors left the South. If you sitting in Chicago, if you sitting anywhere up north, your ancestors left the South. You know, so if some people want to use the term running and all that situation, well, if you sitting in those states right now, well, I guess, you know, by your logic, your ancestors ran. Mine stayed in the South. They didn't quote unquote run, right? I don't even have that care about that because I don't know the situation. It would be better jobs, better situation. Man, I'm all for black people making sure to make their life good. And this is what our ancestors had to do. But continuing, they said that black people, you know, of course, we talked about them leaving and sending train tickets. In response, they said white Southerners observed train platforms packed with black Americans. And several cities passed ordinances that made it illegal for trains to accept prepaid tickets. And so there were ordinances put in place to also prevent group travel. And say if black families or clusters of black Americans tried to purchase group rates. And say the police literally went up to the platforms and rounded up people. And say to dissuade black people from traveling. And say an intimidation tactic that worked. And say it was based on the concept of place, which was the word that whites and blacks used to talk about where blacks often stood in the social order. And say if black Americans left the South, then there was a threat to both the economic interest and the white way of life. See, and that's still like that to this day. And some of you in 2022 don't get that. You do have a place in American society. They may not use that word to stay in your place, but you do have a place in American society. And they said black people leaving was a threat to their economic interests and the white way of life. I told you, you cannot be supreme if you don't have a permanent underclass. And black people were selected then and selected now as the permanent underclass. You understand? So some of the conversation y'all having today, the white supremacists love it. I'm going to just be 100 with y'all. The white supremacists love it. When the white supremacists hear you say, I ain't going nowhere, I'm going to be this, I'm going to do that, the white supremacists, oh, we got them. We got them. We're going to keep that $1 trillion they spending every year in this country. We know that only 6 hours of money stay in the black community, so it benefits our community more so than anybody else. So we got them there. We're sure not going to let them run this country. That's just not going to happen. That one.
Okay, any comments so far?
That's straight facts right there, man.
Oh yeah, like I was saying, what he just said. Just think that he went to the place I just showed you, and then he said that we generating $1 trillion. Look at look what's gonna happen. How fast that place is gonna blow up. And then they had that little minor stuff, little minor work that need to be done. That ain't nothing. We generate $1 trillion a year. It's crazy. But they didn't, you know, we'd have been accomplished that if it wouldn't have been what he just said, all the trickeration they got going on and the brainwashing. Black folks. Keeping us divided. Is that so?
Yeah. That's the truth, man.
Right. And that's what's called.
And plus, you got to also add in that a lot of us don't even trust those folks over there in Africa. You know what I'm saying? That government over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it ain't literally us, Black Americans in that government, then we slow to even want to go over there and make them rich. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
Tree and spending power. they had said that that's like if it was a country of people, that'd be like number 14 in the world. Or we can't sit there and let those black people go away. So yeah. I mean, shoot, we'll let them think that they're gonna do something in this country and all that. We'll throw them a bone here and there, but we can't let those black Americans go. We talking about even in 2022, we can't let them go. We can't. If we let them go, what's going to happen to America? Look, 47% of our ancestors left the South, and it changed everything. But let's continue. Let's say a common belief among white Southerners was that black people were intellectually inferior and would not think to move to the North in search of better opportunities. They believe incorrectly that there was something really happening to black people were being stirred up by labor agents from northern industries coming to the South to round up black workers. This is in part because their genuine belief in the lack of agency of black people and that black people can't possibly be figuring things out on themselves. Now, that's the same thought process they got today. They think black people are dumb, especially the Democrat Party. They think you're dumb. I told you, the white supremacists don't change. They don't change. They're the same people. They're actually very easy to figure out, folks. They do nothing new. The only thing new it's just new names, new faces, and new technology. But if you understand the thought process of racism, white supremacy, and understand the culture of white supremacy, they don't change. It's still an American and world opinion against joint activity of the two forces and to cause division among black African radical national groups and their leaders. Say the FBI should mount surveillance operations against black African representatives and collect sensitive information to those, especially the UN, who oppose U.S. policy towards South Africa. We're talking about apartheid South Africa, okay? Because, you know, the U.S. supported, of course, their white supremacist brethren. He said the information should include facts on their links with the leaders of the black movement in the United States. Why is it, and you got to ask this question, what was the threat to them that black people in Africa and black people in the United States working together in unification? Let me tell you something. Black unity, once again, J. Edgar Hoover said black unity was the greatest threat to the United States. When people use the term Pan-Africanism, let's call it what it is. We created Pan-Africanism. Marcus Garvey got that started here in America. We are the author of Pan-Africanism, period. People say Pan-Africanism, some are saying it don't work. Well, we are the authors of that. So, of course, we'll practice that a lot more than they will, right? In other countries. That's like saying why black Americans do more hip hop than any other place in the world. We created it. Why black Americans do more jazz or R&B? Why they do more of that in America? We created it. That's something from our culture, right? And for me, Pan-Africanism is just black unity on a global scale. But black unity is always something that we should strive for. But unfortunately, we don't have a lot of black unity in America, but we're going to get to why too. Now, they said that in light of the open declaration by the African Union to include the African diaspora, it's okay. So the African Union, we talking about the original African Union. They say, hey, we need to include all the brothers and sisters in this, what we're doing here in Africa, right? I'm going somewhere with this about how the white supremacists move from back even with the Great Migration to now. I'm going to link this together. Just let me build my case here, right? They said that I strongly urge the African Union to ask the United States government whether or not the policy recommendations in NSC Memorandum 46 are presently still in effect. And if not, when they terminated, what's the U.S. government current policy on the subject of Black Africa and the U.S. Black movement? Once again, they're very, very concerned. Anybody that's talking about some Pan-Africanism, even on the continent, that gets concerning. And they explain why. Okay, it goes back to something. Now, if you watch the movie Django Unchained, Calvin Candy said, "These are my N-words, and I do with them whatever the hell I want." And that statement to me was the most powerful statement of the movie, because that is America's policy toward black people. They look at us as their N-words, theirs. Okay. They want to hold you. They want to make sure you stay a permanent underclass. And once again, you benefit them by spending over $1 trillion that do not stay in the Black community. We look at all these, celebrities that we even have in our community. None of the money that they have come from the Black community, but they generate billions. And even their money don't stay in the Black community. Now they said Black Africa and the U.S. Black movement. They said the president. Now this is to the Secretary of State. I'm reading right now. It said the president has directed that a comprehensive review be made of current developments in Black Africa, and the point of view and their possible impacts on the Black movement in the United States. Okay, so they say long-term tendencies of social and political developments and a degree to which they are consistent with or contradict U.S. interests. They say proposals for durable contacts between radical African leaders and leftist leaders of the U.S. Black community. They say appropriate steps should be taken inside and outside the country in order to inhibit any pressure by radical African leaders and organizations in the U.S. Black community for the latter to exert influence of the policy of the administration towards Africa. On a school that's already running, not one that needs to be built, but one that's already running. Let me go ahead and let's go ahead and raise some money and get a bigger building or whatever for our community. You know what I'm saying? Like so much could be done, and yet these things aren't being done. Even you look at the media space. There's this reality. Everybody's in quote unquote competition with each other. Nobody want to work with each other, and I've been accepted that. Because people have always asked why everybody don't work with each other, because everybody look at each other as competition, or they don't like each other for whatever it is. They may not go at each other, but that's kind of what it is. A lot of people just don't like each other, and I've worked with a lot of people in my day, right? But I would think it would be powerful for unity's sake for all the people to work together, even in the online space. I'm not saying we got the same ideas, but work together. And I've been asked that, but everybody getting these little clicks. That's why we don't get nowhere as a community. If we would even all work together on the online space, and just not all the time, but just at times, like everybody come together and do something. You know what I'm saying? I think the people would really love to see everybody come together in one place to even do a conference or something, right? But
okay. Any comments on that?
That brother talking straight facts, man.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, and that right there, that conversation and what he was showing, that's why they so uneasy. I was telling you about you starting to see them get beside themselves because they see what's getting ready to happen. They didn't diverted us so many times, but this time it ain't happening. You got so many people that's awakening to who they are, and then you got so many people that just don't want to be around them no more. They're ready to go. They tricked us down to the north and tricked us back to the south and back and forth, but that didn't play it out. They're ready to go. The spirit of the Most High on a lot of blacks. They're ready to go. And like I said, it already started. They're leaving in bunches as we speak. Well, so with that being said, anybody got any comments or anything about what was said, or anything that they want to talk about before we go?
He touched on a little bit about the African the governments over there, what they call it, united the countries that's united for the diaspora of Africans all over the world. They got that citizenship.
Yeah, Pan-Africanism.
Yeah. Well, it's he was talking about Pan-Africanism, but that's a real thing. That the African Union. Yeah,
the African Union. Okay.
Yeah. They all got that citizenship thing, right? Or is it just Ghana?
Well, it's I think it's about 3 or 4 countries. They steady growing as far as them giving us free citizenship to come back. But
right. But the problem is ain't no money, right?
Yeah, and then they got laws on this side to hinder us, like child support and all that, keep you from going anywhere.
Right.
They got laws on this end to hinder us. That's what the problem coming in at. And then negative propaganda about Africa. But like I said, all that's playing out. Right.
Okay. One more thing, brother. That scripture that's talking about us going back to Africa. Can you give it to me one more time, brother?
Okay, that's Jeremiah 29 and 14. Let me make sure. Yeah, 29 and 14.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So you good?
Yeah. I just gotta remember that scripture, man.
Okay.
Cause I mean that's saying that we are definitely gonna go back. But I know there's gonna be some heavy things that's gonna happen before that day comes.
Oh yeah, right. And it's gonna be the thing about it is it's gonna be just like when they left Egypt. It's gonna happen overnight. All of a sudden, all the tentacles is already there. They just ain't came together. And when they do, it's gonna be like bam, like you said, a thief in the night. And that's really when they're gonna really show out, because then we out of here. It ain't the troublemakers that just are trying to leave. It's the productive Israelites. Just like what they did in Babylon. It says he took the choice of the Israelites and took them to Babylon. And he left the poorest of the people there. But he took all the people that was productive. Nebuchadnezzar did.
Right.
That's something. So when we leave, the people that's waking up, they intellectuals, and they're using their minds. So they're gonna be losing some serious resources.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Right.
I can dig that.
So, yeah. Hopefully I'll be a part of it, man. Like I said, that I take that little place I was just showing everybody. I go there. Not a second thought. As long as I'm out of here, I can work my way once I get there. Oh, yeah.
Right on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, brother.
Right. And we can have some serious dialogue up in the mountains, right?
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. In the shade.
Right. Is anybody got anything else before we go?
Well, okay, you about to end it right now? Okay, I wanted to say this is my last class attending to you,
Okay.
brother.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information that you done brung out that I took on in.
Okay.
I wanted to make it a point to come on this side of the fence.
Oh yeah, it's all good.
To me, that was a step that's a lot of folks don't want to do.
Right.
To me, that is brotherly love,
Right.
and I wanted to exercise that
Right.
because we all part of one big family. Um, and just like any family, you're gonna argue and things like that.
Right.
But I made that a personal mission
Right.
because I don't like just to be around people who think like me.
Right.
I like that other side of the table atmosphere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I wanna be 360 full circle.
It's all good.
Yeah, but I'm also gonna add this on to it. So that's that. But when I do come back, though,
Okay.
when I do come back, Lynn,
Okay.
I'll be coming back to fish for you, brother.
Okay, it's all good.
To bring you to this side of the fence, huh?
Okay, it's all good. Yeah, don't lose that number. I ain't gonna lose yours.
All right, brother.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and I see you over there on Five Smooth Stones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he be arguing with them
Right.
because they well, you know, I appreciate that, brother, man. When I was driving trucks locally, that's
Yeah.
when I bumped into Five Smooth Stones. And if it wasn't for Five Smooth, I would never even met you.
Right.
So that brother right there, I mean, he know how to fish for the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? They you know what I'm saying, they got an ear to listen to him anyway. But
Right.
he's very conflicted. But we all got some conflictions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. So he disagree with a lot of things that I believe in, and that's all good. Like I was just saying to you, I like that other side of the table. So I give
Right.
all respect to them brothers, and I give respect to you too, man.
Yeah.
And brothers on this side of the fence, and you may not disagree with me, but even brothers that's over in Islam,
Right.
um, I got mad respect for them too, man. And well, I, I gotta say this, man. I kind of feel like the Most High already foreseen this, man, and that it's not like, you know, well, I don't know how to say it, man, but it's like some of us that's caught up over here in the land of the Gentiles, and we can't shake something,
Right.
and we doomed to hell because we can't shake it.
No. It's gonna come a time we're gonna break that. That's what I say. It's a lot of things in this society that's holding us to where we at. But when you remove it, is when a lot of that's when a lot of blindness gonna come off when you remove it, and then like I was saying about our diet, your land where we originally came from, what the Creator gave us, and the Bible tell you about that land, which is your mother, create the things you need. We've been dislocated. This ain't our land. So the land that produces what we need is over there. So a lot of things gonna come back to our remembrance once we get away from here.
I can dig it. I can dig it.
Yeah.
I can dig it. And so, like I said, man, as you didn't put out an information, man. But a lot of things you mentioned about the angels, man. That's
Uh-huh.
something that's not talked a lot on my side of the fence.
Right.
And it was by listening to you, I even made that little comparison in my mind. It's kind of wrestling with me, man.
Okay.
That the angels, when they speak, that's the Most High speaking through them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
Same characteristics we give in Christ.
Right.
So therefore, by default, that's kind of the same thing right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's kind of really, had me thinking real deep on that part right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
anyway, I'm gonna leave it right there. And shalom, family. Y'all take it easy.
Yeah, when you barbecue, the chicken it tastes better the next couple of days. You don't taste as good with the first day you cook it.
What you talking about? What you
You
talking about, man?
got left some of it ferment.
Hey.
Yeah. Okay. Shalom.
Shalom, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna see everybody tomorrow on Clubhouse at 8 o'clock for our non-Messianic conversation on Clubhouse. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.